What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the Ride Life podcast. Welcome to the garage, Jim. We're going to talk from the garage tonight. We're going to talk garage stuff, bike stuff. And I've moved out to the garage. It's actually cold in my basement, so the garage is nice and warm. So I'm out here. I get to see my Fox body in the background and different
I think
vibe.
there's a bike. I think there's a bike there, maybe like
Something
looks.
they're there. There's 3 bikes there, but I don't know. This is a ganky ass setup. This microphone is sitting on a box. My laptop sitting on a friggin' pizza box.
There's not a lot of room in that garage with all the bikes and cars and everything else to put a desk in. So
Yeah.
no one would know the difference.
You know what? I could actually put a desk right there. That would be that could be an addition to the podcast studio.
Yeah, well, you got those shelves in the corner, so if you just make another shelf, you just slide your laptop and set up right on that.
Yeah. If I got to get the laptop higher, so then you can see the bikes in the background. But anyway, that's enough about the garage. What you been up to, Jim? How was your week?
It was a pretty good week. I mean, did a little bit of riding here and there, got out. Yeah, yesterday was kind of a weird day. Like it was like cold and rainy, and then all of a sudden it was like 75 and super sunny, but I kind of felt crappy, so I just kind of sat down and watched a documentary.
Yeah.
Like I just wasn't feeling up to it. But today was a good day, man. I went out and did some riding, went and got some good breakfast. I didn't do a lot, maybe 100 miles, like tops, but
That's enough.
yeah.
I did go riding on Thursday. So Iron Tails had their first bike night. I think it was their first one. It might have been second or third, but it was pretty fun. Went down there, rode down there by myself, checked out some bikes. I got a Corona and then just kind of walked around, checked out some bikes by myself. It was kind of fun. And then scooted on. I took the diner out there and just it was a good night of riding.
Did they have like they have the burnout it's not really what do you call it? It's not a burnout pit. It's like a burnout stand.
Something. Yeah, no, they didn't have that. They had slow races going on and
Slow races.
they had it was pretty packed. There was a bunch of bikes. So it was a good time. It was a destination. I love a destination, because with a Ride Life podcast, we gotta ride. What does that even mean? That was a ride. That was part of my ride. Just here and there.
I was thinking about this today. So it's always good to have a destination, like a place you're going to go. And I'm like, well, but I don't always have a place I want to go, but I want to ride. And I always think in my head, like, oh, it's always got to be this epic ride. Like I got to go do 400 miles. And I'm like, that's not really realistic. Like a lot of times, like more often than not, you're on your bike. It's 25 miles here. I'm going to shoot over here. It's 30 miles. It's, you might do 100 miles for the day, but you were out on the bike all day. You were visiting people and doing things. I don't know.
Yeah. If I go across town to visit a buddy and hang out in his garage for an hour and I'm on the bike, that's a win for me. I'm on the bike, hang out with someone, ride home. That's all I need. That's all I need for clear my mind,
I think you're doing stuff like when you're riding, like you're doing stuff on the bike that like it would be just as easy to take the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're not going for a ride. Like you're not going to meet a friend and going for a ride. You're going over his house and maybe he's working on his car or something, and you just take the bike over and you go work on his car with him, and then you take the bike over here and go do something. Like I need to do more of that and get it out of my head that every ride has to be like 400 miles.
Yeah. I don't get that out of your head.
I think I would ride more. I think I would ride more.
I agree. If you just take the bike everywhere, I agree. And but this weekend I didn't do much riding. This weekend was about golfing, and I played in a tournament today, and I sucked ass. Me and my brother played, and it was crappy weather. Obviously, it was a little bit of rain, and we just didn't start off good. We ended good, but we didn't start off good, so we were it was tough. But it's always
was it a 2-day or a 1-day?
Just a 1-day, but it's always fun to play in a tournament golf. It's so much different than just going out and playing golf with your friends. Every stroke counts, and there's rules, and you gotta, it's just,
Yep.
It's a good pressure. So,
Can we blame your brother like we did last year, or no? Or is this one on you?
And no, we can definitely blame him because he hit a ground ball off the first tee, and I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" Like, I thought you said you were
Well,
practicing.
so what was the format?
Oh, it was a weird format. So it's the spring four ball they call it, but
Okay.
it used to be just best ball, 2-man teams, best ball. You both play the hole out, you take the best score. Now it's called they do this 6-6-6 thing. So the first 6 holes you play best ball, you both play out the hole, take the best score. The next 6 holes is a modified alternate shot, which is I've never even played this before. What they did this year, you both hit a drive. You go out to the drives. I hit his drive. He hits my drive. And then we take the best one from that and alternate shots from there on in. Yeah,
Okay.
it was
It's interesting.
it was very confusing and interesting. And then the last 6 holes is a 2-man scramble, which is a lot of fun. You can make a lot of birdies doing that, and that's you both hit a tee shot and go to the best one, hit from there, and take the best one, and that's a fun one. But
Yeah, I mean, you guys could probably kill that.
yeah, I mean we've come in top 10 before in this tournament, so we've done really well, and just today we just didn't have it. It's golf.
It's golf. It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just look at the pros, man. I mean, there's a lot of parity. I mean, different guy wins there almost every week,
Yeah,
and
it's tough.
that is what it is.
It is. I'm not out playing golf every day. I'm not practicing, hitting 1,000 balls a day, so I can't expect much. But when I was on like the 13th hole, I remembered I'm going to pick up 3-wheelers tomorrow. Tomorrow night, going to pick up 2 ATC 125Ms.
Were those 4-strokes? I'm not real familiar with the 3-wheelers. Like I remember them, but I don't really remember what they were.
Yeah. These were 4-strokes. So they had the 125, the 110, like the ATC 110, 125, the ATC 70, and then the 250R was the 2-stroke one.
All right.
So, and then they had like a 300X, 200X. They had a bunch of models, all 4-strokes. So this model is a 125. I just wanted to ride wheelies on. That's all I wanted for.
Most of those, it's funny, most of those were 4-strokes. And the 4-wheelers from those eras were 4-strokes too. Like all the dirt bikes at that time were 2-stroke pretty much.
Yep.
There were a few 4-stroke dirt bikes, but like all of those were like 4-strokes, and yet the dirt bikes and everything that they were racing were 2-strokes. I that just kind of came across my mind.
Well, because back then the 4-strokes were impossible to start, and they weren't as fast. They didn't have it figured out like they do now
with the large compression.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the 2-strokes were easier to start, faster, easier to work on. They had them down.
Yeah, those 3-wheelers were a lot of fun. I rode one when I was young. I don't think I rode one like as a teenager even. I probably rode one when I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah, it'll be here during Laconia. You can try doing some wheelies. Try not to run your leg over. That's the thing. You put your foot down, you run your foot over.
I might try to flip it.
No, come on. It's in pretty good it's in pretty good condition. This guy he's got 2 of them, same exact machines. And he bought them from the original owner, supposedly, but that's what everybody says that.
Yeah. So, are you into I know you used to like the race quads, like I forget what they were, TRXs.
Oh yeah, the TRX.
Are you into the utility quads, like the 4x4s and stuff like that?
No, I had one before. The only thing that thing was good for is pulling my trailer around, and it had no suspension. This one, it was an older Honda. And I don't know, it was kind of fun, but you get all muddy and meh.
I don't think they really I don't think they make those to the standards that they make. Like you said, the suspension isn't as good. They don't make it to those kind of standards, right? They're like work quads, but it is kind of fun to get one with some big tires and go get some mud and get through some stuff with them.
Yeah, well,
it's a different vibe.
The new 4x4 quads, they all have independent front and rear suspension, and those are pretty sick, but they're $15,000, I think. I've never even priced them out. Like the new, like the Honda Ranchero or Rancher or something like that. They're fast.
Everything's crazy now.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure they're fun.
The side by sides are a blast. They're like $30,000.
No, fuck. You get you get a turboed side by side. The things are crazy. Yeah, they're like 30 grand. But
It's crazy.
yeah,
But that'll be fun though. Those three wheelers. Are you gonna let the kids ride them?
no, no. They got their own little 70s that they never ride. So screw them.
Yeah, no, they don't. Them the kids, they're not into that shit
No.
now.
But me and my buddy Steve are gonna go. He's taking one. I'll take one. I mean, they're like $1,000 a piece. So it's serious fun. You can ride them all year round. I'll ride it in the snow. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
I would definitely get into that. I know you got the snowmobile and stuff, and like, but you don't always get enough snow for the snowmobile. But like a 4x4 or a three wheeler, you can definitely ride in the snow
Oh
for
hell
sure, and like an inch or two of snow, and it's so much fun.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I mean, at first when I was starting my marketplace search, I wanted a 400EX because I had one of those before. They're fun. They're
Yep.
fun to wheelie. They got plenty of power. And then I got into a three wheeler kick, and I wanted a three wheeler again. So
That's something a little bit different though, which is cool. Like I don't know, the 400EXs were a lot of fun.
yeah,
Like those were cool. Did you ever race one or
no,
no?
I had a TRX 450R. That thing was sick. I never raced it, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I mean, down up by you, you can still kind of
yeah, not really.
you can register you can register them and ride them and go out on the trails and things like that. Like down here, you gotta sneak off into the pits and the stuff we grew up in.
Yeah, yeah,
Looking over your shoulder all the time.
yeah. No, there's no place to ride them up here either. I mean, That's why I'm getting a three wheeler because it's slow and I can just ride it through my backyard and have plenty of fun with it and ride it on the streets, nice and quiet. So,
Nice.
yeah.
That'll be a good time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So, what else? What do we got tonight, Jim? This is geez, you and I were both golfing all day, so this is kind of we almost skipped it, guys. So we were like, let's just skip this week, but like, well, no, we need those 7 listeners need to hear us for this week, so let's do it.
Yeah. No, so you're talking about like the old stuff and you're talking about all that and you had this in the notes for a while. I love to talk about the older Harleys because I went back and I listened to I think it was his last live, Dr. Harley's last live, and he talked about a lot of the financial troubles that Harley's going through and he pulled up a bunch of articles and had great statistics. I'm not even going to pretend to try to regurgitate them now, but basically their losses over the last couple of years and even their losses for the first quarter this year. But you had mentioned this in the notes. You had said like, you think the older Harleys will ever phase out or people will get sick of them? And, I've been just looking around. I think the older Harleys are more popular now than they were back then.
Really, I don't know. Like, you got to think like kids that are younger than us, like a kid in his 20s. Is he really going to want to go out and buy a shovel head, or is he going to want to buy a Dyna or a Road Glide or a newer bike or a Lowrider ST? I don't know. I think it gets to a point where nobody's going to want that panhead anymore. It's going to be a very limited audience that's going to want that panhead. Like, I just think it's too old. It's not fast enough. There's not enough parts. So, like, the younger generation is not going to want to seek out a panhead, or unless their dad had shovels or pans, then they might want it. But someone that's just getting into a Harley, then they're not going to look for a shovel head, or they're going to want a Dyna. They're going to want a new Softail. Um, I feel like, but the prices are still outrageous, and I just feel like they're not going to sell anymore. I think the older crowd, like you and I, that would actually buy them, they're expensive. Some of us can't afford them. And I don't know. I just feel like they might start phasing out because they're getting less and less, and I don't know. That's just what I was thinking.
So I think like that it's kind of two separate things, right? So the older, like the pans and the shovels, they're not as common anymore. I mean, you can find them, but they're not as common as they were 15 years ago, 20, because they just people crashed them or tore them apart or did whatever, or they're just sitting somewhere and they're not as common anymore, right? There will always be a certain level of appreciation for those bikes, for certain people. And you're probably right. Like the younger generation probably won't look at those and go, "Man, I got to really have that." But on the flip side, the older Harleys that I think of, like all of the Evo motor Harleys, are as popular as they ever were.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the stunting crowd has brought those Dynas back hard. And the Dynas, and especially since, well, these aren't really old, but the like pre 2017s, like all the actual Dynas are as popular as they've ever been. And that Evo motor, everybody loves it. I mean, if you watch a video, you'll hear the person just slip stuff in like, oh, during this, they had an Evo motor, which, by the way, was the best motor that Harley ever made. You know, people slide that stuff in all the time.
Yeah.
I think those are bigger than they were in the 90s.
Yeah, even Evos are starting to, like, people are making Evo choppers now, and even Evos are kind of fading out. But twin cams and Milwaukee eights are right now the big thing, and I don't know. I love my Evo.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I think the twin cam's a good motor. I've never ridden a Milwaukee 8. You have. I can't speak to it. I mean, people say that it's probably going to be go down as the most reliable motor that Harley's ever made. But I just think that there'll always be a market for those older Harleys. I think they phase out because they kind of disappear. They go into somebody's garage, and then the guy gets old, and then the kids just sell it off somewhere. And more and more times that those bikes just kind of disappear because the guy stopped going to bike rallies, or the guy stopped going to bike shows because he got old and he couldn't ride it anymore. And then it sat for 10 years. And then the guy, went into a nursing home and his kids sold it on him. Like they're not as they're just generally like naturally phased out. They're not really like phased out. Like if I could buy one right now, I would, but I'm an older guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like the guy that's holding on to the panhead right now that thinks he's going to get a lot of money for it in 5-10 years, I just don't think it's going to be a limited market. Kids these days are not going to want to buy a panhead, so I don't know.
No, the guy that's going to own that's going to be 80 and he's going to sell it to a 60-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
When he finally gets sick of staring at it in his garage. And for sure, yeah, it's definitely a limited market. The kids love the Dynas. Those are just massive, especially when you look out and like, we're getting to the point in our lives where like we see 30-year-olds and they look really young to us. And those guys are hanging wheelies and doing burnouts and drifting and doing all that stuff. And they're doing it on twin cam and Evo Dynas and those things, man. People are asking stupid money for them and they're disappearing. They're going.
Oh yeah. I see things I save a bunch of stuff and I see that they sold. I'm kind of surprised that some of the things sell on Marketplace, but hey, like even these 3-wheelers, like I've been trying to find a 3-wheeler forever, and I'll find one, and they're always far away. I can't find one close to me because I live out in. I'm starting to hate New Hampshire. I hate it up here. There's nobody around. The food sucks. I'm just sick of it. There's like I don't know. I can't. I'm not a New Hampshire fan.
We have good food down here, so that's the thing. It's the give and take with New Hampshire, right? So you got a lot of really great things going on, but like nobody's around the corner.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's like I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
But when was the last time they even made a 3-wheeler? What was that, like 89?
No,
90? Like wasn't there like literally like a ban on 3-wheelers at one point?
Yeah, well, if you let me answer the goddamn question.
All right.
I'm just kidding. 1987, I think, was like a half year. So they made them for the beginning part of 1987, and then they stopped. So
yeah, because people were rolling those things like crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, they do roll a little easier than a 4-wheeler, but whatever. It's good that they got banned because now that they don't make them anymore and they're sought after. I can't believe there's still so many of them for sale.
Honestly, I haven't looked, but if you're telling me there's a lot, then there's a lot. But you're talking about 1987. You're talking about 30 years ago.
I know it's 30. Jeez,
I mean, it's 30 years ago.
I know.
So, think about buying a 1987, you want to buy a 1987 Toyota Camry. Like, there's not many of them left around.
No, I did like the. I can't even picture it. What year was the Camry where the Camry really took off? Remember that year? It was a 4-door. They made it in a 2-door Camry. It was really round looking.
Oh yeah.
That's when the Camry really took off, and everybody
right around 2000.
Yeah, everybody
right
wanted
around
one of those.
2000. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But I just threw that out there. But yeah, you're talking about a product that hasn't been made for a really long time. They are probably hard to get like good parts for. Like there's still like, I don't know how you're pretty smart with this stuff, so you do your research, but like you can't just like go online and be like find 15 vendors that sell motor parts and suspension parts and things like that. So that's kind of what happens. You got to figure out how you're going to work on it and keep it running.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the good thing about these Hondas. They run forever. They're really hard to kill.
Yeah.
So this one is pretty good shape. I'm going to have to put a new seat cover on it. I'll probably take the wheels off and repaint them and, kind of make it look cool. But I don't know. I'm not going to totally restore it, but I'm going to make it look presentable. Everything in my garage has to be clean.
They were all red back then, right? I think.
Yeah, they did make a...
like red with blue.
They made a Christmas... They call it the Christmas special or something. It was an ATC 70 that was blue and a 110 that was blue, all blue plastic. And those are kind of rare. So there's definitely some rare three-wheelers out there. There's this guy on YouTube. It's the Trike channel, or it's I just watched one of his videos. He's got like every single model they ever made, multiple versions of them, and he always makes videos talking about the differences and blah blah blah. But this old Trike, that's what it is. This old Trike on YouTube, he's got a whole barn full of three-wheelers. It's pretty cool.
Do you probably remember? You definitely remember Sal Ruccio.
Oh yeah, did he have a three-wheeler?
No, he had like the Suzuki.
Oh.
Like I was the quad. Remember the Quadzilla?
Yep.
He had the Quadzilla, and he never rode that fucking thing.
Yeah, I know. It just sat in his garage.
It just sat in his garage forever. But I don't know why, because it was just that era. Like I just remember that era, and like he had no business having that. Like when he had that, I was probably 11, so he was maybe like 13. Like, and that was a pretty sick machine back then
for a 13-year-old. Yeah. Does he still live in that house?
No, his mom passed away. He sold that house quite a few years ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know where he is now.
Yeah. Well, for everybody listening, so Jimmy's Road, we had to go by this kid's house, and then the end of the road, we took a trail, and that led over to my house. So we'd always ride by his house all the time, and he was kind of a bully.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick. Remember you destroyed his tree fort?
Yeah, I don't know what got into me that day. That was my buddy Chris.
Chris, was it Maluzzi?
Yeah.
Chris Maluzzi?
He passed away.
Oh no shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was living up here in New Hampshire as he was a tow truck driver, and something happened, and I saw that he had passed away. Yeah, me and Chris were good friends in high school. I mean, not in high school, in middle school, whatever, elementary school. So
many people that we went to school with passed away, but that list is long. So I'll just tell you something real quick. So he was kind of a real dickbag in high school and growing up and stuff. He was just a dank. He thought he was the king of the street. He was the oldest kid on the street. He was an asshole. But he really got into like especially out of high school, he got into like a lot of drugs and stuff like that. But his mom and my mom ended up getting pretty close. And he was there with his mom for a long time, and he ended up being really good to my parents, and he ended up doing like a lot of good shit for my parents and like helping out. Like he'd see like, oh, my dad was carrying something in the house, and he'd like go up there and help him carry shit in the house and stuff like that. So he wasn't all bad.
Oh, all right. That's good.
So
good.
I mean,
I mean,
as he got older.
There was a time where I hung out. Remember that? I probably hung out with Sal for a month straight, and then he tried to kill me.
I had a weird interaction with him when I was older. He had kids. I think he got married young. He had kids, and they were outside, and like, it was weird. It was like I went down, and it was almost like he was talking about me to his kids, like he looked up to me, and it was really weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, yeah, it was weird because it was, but I had gone down there because he had just done a bunch of shit for my parents, like moved a bunch of stuff around the yard or whatever. And I was like, I wanted to go down and thank him for doing it.
Yeah.
And he was outside playing football with his kids, and he was like coaching football and shit. And it was really weird. Like, I was like, oh, this is like not what I remember at all.
Right.
That's life.
All right. Enough of memory lane, our childhood, and we had kids in our neighborhood. Jim, tonight's the night. Does Jim know is back on the schedule? Are you ready?
I probably don't know, but I will try my best.
It's pretty funny that because earlier in the show we were talking about something very similar that I have in my Does Jim Know? So, all right, here we go. Let me get to the notes in my Does Jim Know. All right, first one, Jim. I only got two. I know we talked about the Gray Ghost, the fat boy that came out, and you said it reminded you of the V-Rod, which after you said that, I was kind of like, it does. So your first question is, what year did the V-Rod come out?
I think I'm too early on this, but I feel like the V-Rod came out. I have two numbers in my head because the first one I feel like it's too early, but I feel like the V-Rod came out like 96, 97.
So the year doesn't start with a 1, so I'll give you that hint.
So my second guess was 01.
Yeah.
Was 2001.
2001 it is. So, yeah.
So I don't know why I thought it came out in the 90s, and I'm like, that was what I said. It felt too early, but for some reason, but yeah, 01. Okay.
Yeah. So,
cool.
It was introduced in 2001. It was the first Harley-Davidson street bike to feature overhead camshafts and liquid cooling, and was designed to compete with Japanese and American muscle bikes. So,
are you into those? Do you like those?
The V-Rods? No. Well, I mean, no. So
I never really got into it. I know some people really like them.
Oh, they have a cult following.
And it kind of doesn't even really sound like a Harley, which whatever it is, what it is. But I mean, I always like the Buells better than I like the V-Rods.
Yeah, the V-Rods. I remember, I think they had a Screaming Eagle V-Rod version, and Edwin and I've probably talked about this before. We demo rode a couple in Daytona, and it was the fastest thing I ever rode at the time. So
I don't know what year it is, but my buddy Steve has a Screaming Eagle V-Rod.
All right. Well, good for Steve.
and an ultra classic and an old like VMAX or something.
Oh, VMAX, those are cool. Shaft driven, those things are crazy. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So my next question is kind of a 3-part question. So we were talking about the Evo and the twin cams and stuff like that. So my question to you was, what CC is the Evo?
Is it 80?
Well, it's an 80 cubic inch. You're correct, but the CCs.
Oh,
So, well, just think.
I'm not good at math. So.
Well, just think back. The Sportster, right, was a 1200 cc. Remember, right?
Yeah.
So just to give you a reference.
Was it 1140?
Ooh, you were so close. 1340.
Oh, 1340.
Yeah.
Damn it.
All right, so then we're going to move up to the twin cam. What CC is the twin cam? You have.
Oh, God. Well, they're all over the place because it's
we're going to
change sizes, but
we're going to go with the 88 cubic inch. So the most
all right,
standard.
the 88 cubic inch. So 1490?
Close, 1450.
All right.
Yeah.
I knew it was 14 something.
Yeah. All right. And then we're going to go with the M8. So the M8, comes in 3 standard displacement sizes, the 107, the 114, and the 117. So the 107 inch is 1750 cc. The 114 is 1870, and the 117 is how many cc you think?
Oh, I just heard this too. It's 19 something.
Yep, 1920.
I don't remember the number. Yeah, but it's 19 something. I just heard this the other day. Somebody was talking about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 1920, which is crazy because remember the VTX 1800 came out and everybody was
Yep.
like, "Holy crap, 1800 cc, blah blah blah." And I honestly, before I even looked this stuff up, I didn't realize that that M8 was 1920 cc. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
What is the Goldwing now? That thing's got to be like 2400 or
oh
something.
god, yeah, that's yeah,
I mean, the Goldwing. So when I worked at Honda back in the early 2000s, the Goldwing was 1800. 1800.
yeah.
That was 24 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
Christ. Can I throw? I just want to throw one at you. So I told you I was trying to catch up on the Billy Lane, the Blood, Sweat, and Gears,
Yep.
which if it's old now. If you guys haven't checked it out, go back and check it out. It's available on Prime for free. Really cool. He builds a custom 55-inch trailer, and he goes around to all the bike shows, and he does work live in front of people, which had to be like really hard to like put on a show all day, like working on bikes. But so he gave away 2 bikes, and he repaired 2 bikes. What rally did he give away the first bike?
Oh, I want to say it was Myrtle Beach.
It was Laconia.
Oh, that was my second guess because I can remember him doing it up in Laconia, but I also remembered him doing it in, I believe it was Myrtle Beach, but I can't remember now.
So what happened was he met someone in Daytona that lived close by. Her husband was overseas, and he did a bunch of work on her bike, and they kind of got it all done. And then right after Daytona, he finished it up, gave and then gave the bike to the guy after. So he went to Myrtle Beach. So somebody donated a bike to him. I don't remember what dealer it was. Donated a bike to him, and he went through the whole bike and customized it and changed the sheet metal and did a bunch of stuff. And he wanted to give it away in Myrtle Beach, but he never found someone that like it just really like clicked with him,
Yep.
that he wanted to give it away. So when he went to Laconia, there was a guy in an army uniform who had a Purple Heart. And he was like, "This is the guy. This guy's got a Purple Heart, and he doesn't have a bike already. And I want to do something cool for him." Of course, he goes out to get the bike, and it's fucking raining, and he's got to ride it through the mud. Like, he gets up on stage, and there's all mud up the back of his shirt and shit because it's Laconia.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just thinking that's really, if anybody hasn't seen it, it's pretty cool. It's not like super like, if you're into like a lot of the fab and like understanding what he's doing, it's not one of those shows, but it's just a really good show. He does a ton for like a whole year. He goes to Daytona, Myrtle Beach, Laconia, Sturgis, and then again in Biketoberfest in Daytona, and just does awesome shit for veterans, and it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Do you ever watch his YouTube channel now?
I don't. I really suck with like the YouTube. It takes me a long time to get through stuff. So when I tell you, so that was a 90-minute thing that they did, and it took me like 4 days to watch it.
Jesus, you need to get some more time on
I
your hands.
it's not even that. It's just I sit down to watch something, and then I start puttering around the house and picking this up and doing this, and and I got to keep rewinding and.
Yeah. But anyways, his new videos on YouTube are pretty good. He does a pretty good job. He's into the bad boys. You know what those are?
I don't think I know what that is.
So 1995, 96, and 97, Harley made a bad boy. It was a Springer Softail. And they had all of them similar paint jobs on them all. And he's had a few. And that's what he's been working on them lately.
So he did a bike on this show. It had to be. It was a Heritage Softail. It had to be because it had a Springer front end, and I think that's all they had back then that had the Springer on it. And he says, he goes, "Oh, this isn't normally my thing. I don't really like this," but he made that thing look really awesome, like really, really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like how a Heritage looks. I mean, they're kind of, for lack of a better term, they're bulky. It's kind of a fat bike, right? I mean, it's just got a lot of metal, and it's just, and he made it look like, you know, like he was into the Indian Larry stuff. He made it look like narrow and like really cool to ride, and
He slimmed it right down. Yeah, he's like still
yeah, it was pretty badass.
he's still living in the 2000s. He's great. Like when he does his videos, he'll break out his West Coast choppers socket set, and like he's like I don't use these on certain bike builds, you know, and he still puts those West Coast chopper FU pipes on the bad boys, and he puts Boyd Connington. Do you remember him?
I remember the name. I don't remember a lot about him.
Yeah,
but I do remember the name.
he was more of a car hot rod builder, and he must have done because he had a swing arm built by him and stuff. So he did some pretty cool stuff. That's Jesse James.
I think there's like a I have like kind of a trinity in my head, like the three people that I'm like, if I see their name, it catches my eye. Billy Lane, Indian Larry, and Jesse James.
Yeah. So
like if I see their name, it catches my eye, and I'm gonna pay attention.
Yeah. So let's just say you were cool, you had some money, you kind of knew some people. Like, who would you want? Like you got some other bikes right now, and you want to build a bike. Like right today, you want to build like a new bike or an old bike. You just want to build a bike. Who would you have build it for you? That's a tough question. I don't even know who I would pick. I'd have to.
So my first phone call, because they're still doing it, and they did it after he died, would be like to the Indian Larry shop in New York. Can you build me a bike the way that he used to build them?
Yeah, they couldn't.
And if they couldn't, it would be Billy Lane.
Yeah,
I'd be like, listen, I want, because Billy loved Indian Larry and was like definitely like his own style, but like just his flair on what Indian Larry did. I think he built bigger bikes, but I would be like, listen, I don't care what it costs. I want you to build me a bike like in his honor, like kind of like build it to that style.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing a ton of those lately. That's the golden era, man. Those bikes, the way they look,
yeah, I agree.
It's just.
I remember I wanted an Exile Cycles bike so bad. I just loved everything about what Russell was doing with those bikes and how there was no chrome. It was so industrial looking. Damn, I love those bikes. Then he built that trike. And I was like, I don't even like trikes, and I like this thing. You know? Do you remember that?
I don't remember the trike. No,
the trike. I think that was in a biker build off, and I'm pretty sure he went up against the. Oh man. I want to say the Detroit brothers, and he built that trike, or that might have been the World Biker Build Off. God, I used to know the Biker Build Off so well, and it's been so long now. But anyways, back to Billy Lane. Like he's got style. He's got good style. He's got good taste in bikes. When the Road Glide ST first came out, he bought one, and he was riding it around. He puts miles down, so he gets it. He knows what's cool. He's cool.
Yeah, I think, and I think Jesse James is like I don't want to say he doesn't build bikes now, but Jesse James is one of those guys that's always chasing the next thing.
Yeah. Well,
he does a lot with firearms now.
He's got so much stuff going on. He's got culinary. He's got, Jesse James firearms. He's got Jesse James. It's like an auction site where you can buy cars and trucks. And
it's like anything he can do that includes metal.
Yeah.
He's going to do it, and he's going to do it really well.
Yeah, he's big into the blacksmithing these days, and he's got a really cool shop down in Austin. And he's got West Coast Choppers back. They got new shirts out. They got new stuff going on. So he's still doing stuff behind the scenes, which is cool. Yeah, his bikes.
Those shirts were everywhere.
Oh my god! When they first came out, what they say, like he made like $1 million in a day with his sale, something like that, something crazy. When it went through Walmart or something, and
yes, I just heard this story like a week ago tops. So he started to do merchandise, and he was looking for a way to get it out. And a lot of people were like, like whoever he was trying to put it through. He didn't name the companies, but maybe it was dealers, maybe it was just online, whatever. Online was still not what it was today. And Walmart was like, we want to do business with you. And at the time, Walmart had never sold a t-shirt for more than like $9.99. And a lot of people told him, dude, don't do business with Walmart. Like, it's just going to ruin your brand. Don't do business with Walmart. And he did business with Walmart, and it was I think he said $17.99 or $16.99. And he literally did $1 million in one day through Walmart selling West Coast Shoppers merch.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, there was so much
You
West
know,
Coast, like from the little bikes, the model bikes, the T-shirts, the keychains, to friggin' you name it, it
yeah.
was it. I mean, OCC went down the same road, putting their name on everything, but I don't know. I've always liked Jesse James's bikes. All his bikes just had that look. They were choppers, but they weren't like long fork choppers, the ones I don't like. So that's probably why I gravitated towards them.
Yeah, he did. The thing about Jesse was that, like, as much as he could do by hand, he did by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I always loved that about him. You know, you very rarely saw anything being like CNC'd or whatever.
He loves having those old machines, the old
yeah,
hammer drills and stuff like that, whatever they're called.
And the thing about him too is, like, Jesse's like just so passionate about metal, but like he had Monster Garage, and they did cool things with cars, and he just was into all that shit that, like, I love.
He's a car guy, he's a bike guy. That's what he is, and he made some good money at it.
And now he's a gun guy and a knife guy and a merch guy and a whatever guy.
I wanted to buy one of his pizza cutters. The thing was so cool. It was like $600 for a pizza cutter. Like,
yeah, I mean,
like, I like pizza. I don't know,
but he makes these firearms now, and like the slides, everything is matched. So he's not making 400 slides over here and 400 bottoms over here, and then just taking them and putting them together. Like, everything is machine matched, and the tolerances are so tight and so clean.
How much does one of his guns go for? Like maybe like a 1911 style gun that he has. I can imagine what they go for.
I've never looked, but I bet you 4,500 to 5,500.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I would bet.
Yeah.
I think you can buy like individual pieces from him. So I think, like, if you wanted to buy just a slide or something, you could.
Oh.
I think he does a lot with like metal grips and things like that. But it's everything he does is crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And he deserves it.
Oh, yeah, sure, whatever you say. Ugh.
Well, I mean, he put the work in, man. That's the way it goes.
I know. I'm not knocking him. Hey, I like to see people in this industry succeed and and make a name for themselves.
You know what I hate about some of that stuff, and more with guys like Indy and Larry. Like, I really didn't become really into him until pretty much the end.
Yeah. Well,
and then it was like, oh fuck, he's gone.
Yeah, I know. But, all right. Well, one last thing before we get out of here. In the note you put, this dude's bike is just laying there. What the hell is that all about?
All right, you're pretty motorcycle aware. So, like, wherever you go, no matter what you're doing, like, if there's a bike, you see the bike, right? Like, whether it's for sale and it's even something that, like, you wouldn't even look at.
Yeah.
You wouldn't consider buying. You see there's a bike there with a for sale sign on it. So there's this house that I've been driving by every day at work, like every day. And this guy's got this, I think it's a Honda. And it's for sale, and he's selling it, and it's out by the road. So I go down the road, I pass it, and it's fucking laying on the ground.
Jesus.
And like the kickstand's up, and it's laying on the ground. And I'm like, I almost thought to myself, should I stop and like pick it up? because this dude's bike is laying on the ground.
Oh, your luck.
But I'm like, with my luck, the guy's gonna come out and be like, you knocked over my bike. What the fuck?
You knocked it over. You buy it. You own it.
So I drove by this guy's house. I went down the road. It was early. It was like 6:30. Went down the road. I had to deliver to a job site, and then I had to go over to like another place. I come back out like 2 hours later. This dude's bike is still laying on the ground.
Oh.
And I'm like, listen, I don't know if he's got it up on Marketplace. I don't know if he's trying to sell it through Craigslist or whatever.
Craigslist.
But whatever he's trying to do, like if somebody's like, oh, hey, I saw that bike. I want to go. And it's just fucking laying on the ground.
That'd be the word. You come to look at it and it's laying on the ground. Like, I think I'm going to get a better price now.
And you know what's so funny, because it doesn't take much. Like my helmet dropped. This is no lie. My helmet dropped 10 inches. And I got like a little, like right here, like a little white spot.
Yep. On the new Simpson?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, well.
I had it. I was putting it in the bag, and I was just like, and it just kind of slipped. And it wasn't even fully exposed. It was in the bag. And then like the bag kind of slipped. And it's just got like a little mark. And like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not worried about it. I'm not looking to sell it. But like, imagine what a bike on its kickstand falling over is going to do.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I got some new Ride Life podcast stickers I just got. Our old logo, our original logo. So I got some more of those stickers.
Nice.
So I'll give you one you can put on your helmet.
I really like the piston logo.
Yeah, I know.
Lot.
But those stickers suck. I got a bunch of them, and like they're impossible to peel. Like it takes forever to peel them. So I haven't given many of them out just because I feel bad. I don't want people friggin' not being able to unpeel it and then just fucking throw it away.
Every time I open my saddlebag, there's a big fat Roadie Riders sticker there. I need some Ride Life stickers. And you know what's wicked cool we should do? I talk about her all the time, but whatever. Danny has them stickers on her fucking saddlebags, and it says like at Danny Girl, whatever.
Yep.
We should do some shit like that with the what do you call it? The QR code.
Spit it out. All right, yeah. Oh yeah.
The QR code.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing this out there. Maybe you could do something like that since you haven't done a goddamn thing. Like I've bought all the stickers and stuff, so maybe
I can't even get a fucking sweatshirt. You want me to invest in some stickers? We literally got listeners out there riding around with merch. I can't even get a sweatshirt.
Well, hey, ride on up here. I'll give you one. I got a whole box sitting right there.
To be honest, before I found out you were going for a golf tournament today, I was all ready to strap the tires on it to ride up.
Oh, next weekend, let's do it.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's see what happens Wednesday. But
yeah, then we could just do you could do a podcast together right in here.
But yeah, I just thought that was a cool idea. I mean, anything my bike's not like, my bike is what my bike is, so I don't really care about putting stickers on it and shit.
All right. Well,
I think it'd be pretty cool.
It would be cool. Yeah, you put a Ride Life sticker on it. You got to put one on it. I got them on my bikes.
Yeah.
So
my wife has one on her car, the original, like the little one that we did.
Yeah.
I didn't keep any of those for myself because I gave them all away to people, and I stuck them up around bars and shit like that.
Well, I got a bunch more. They're actually a little bigger than the original one, so they're perfect. So I'll have to order a bunch more. They're cheap money. They're like $20 for 50 or 100 of them or something like that.
Hey, should we break balls real quick? Because I know he's going to listen. Roadie's down there riding with Can-Am riders.
I know. Jesus, I can't believe he's... Hey, well, you need people to ride with, but, man, you ride around with a Can-Am? Jeez.
I know, it's funny. I almost called him today, too, and I was like, oh, shit, he's, like, down south. Like, what?
He's down at Deal's Gap right now. Or I don't know when he took that picture, but, yeah, he's down doing the Tail of the Dragon and stuff like that, so...
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Took the picture in front of the shame tree, the tree of shame.
Yeah. I saw that. So I'm glad Roddy's back because he went silent for a while. I didn't hear from him, and then now he's back, so that's good.
I talked to him. Well, I told you this last week. I talked to him, and he was like, dude, winter was rough. Like, we didn't get a lot of snow, but we got a lot of salt.
Yeah, and plus he was moving, and he had stuff other going on in his life. Yeah. So, but I'm glad Roddy's back on the road on two wheels. So,
yeah, and he's got a new video coming out. I don't know exactly when, with him doing the exhaust and stuff like that on his artist bike, and there might be some Ride Life Jim guest narration
Oh,
on
all
there, which is
right.
pretty cool.
Well, go check out Roadie
That should
Riders on.
suck all the fans in.
Oh yeah, go. Oh, is it? I think it's Roadie Riders on YouTube. Go check them out.
Yep, and Rhodey Jr. Got to follow those small little
Oh
cars.
yeah, small little cock. You got to smell that guy. Yep.
So, all right, man, that's all I got this week.
All right. Well, if you're on YouTube, give us a subscribe. It's free. You get to see us talk about things every week. We're out here doing our thing. Hit the like button. It helps the algorithm, whatever that word is. If you're on YouTube, you might as well just go follow Dr. Harley too, because he's got every Wednesday night with a live. He's got awesome stuff going on every Wednesday. Pop in there, say hi, whatever. It's just cool that he's got stuff going on, motorcycle stuff. I love it. So that and Instagram, hit us up on the Ride Life podcast. Any questions, anything you want us to talk about, throw some questions at us. You know someone that wants to come on, be a guest, let us know. We'll evaluate him and see if he makes the cut. I mean, trust me, if Matt, Daddy, Big Daddy, whatever he's called, made the cut, I mean, I think he was actually pretty good. He's got an interesting story, like being a nurse and a paramedic and working at Cycle Gear. He's pretty cool. He's a pretty busy guy, so it was kind of cool to talk to him. So
For sure.
if you guys missed that episode, that was the episode before this is last week's episode, so go check that one out. And yeah, we got Laconia coming up. That's our next event. We're gonna be here with the Ride Life Barbecue, and hope to see some. I was talking to Big E. Big E is coming up for Laconia, so that'll be cool.
Nice.
I almost had him. He's bringing his van. He's a vanner, so he's gonna sleep in his van and stuff. I almost had him parking out in my backyard, so that would have been cool to have Big E here. But they're gonna go to a campground. So.
Well, if he parked in your backyard, we could all get cuts too. The guy can make a killing.
All right. Yeah, because I have a lot of hair for him to cut. We could trim my beard. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, not you, but I don't have a lot. But I could use a bald fade, try to make it look like I still have a little bit of hair up top.
Hey, he might bring us stuff. He'll be here. He's gonna come by, hang out. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. But all right, man. Well, that's all I got. So I'll see you next Tuesday.
All right. We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you.